This is QiQ, the question in question. Brought to you by TherapyBites Art Lab. Here to take a bite out of modern-day pseudo-psychological psycho-malarkey. Now entering the Art Lab studio, today's T-Ballers, a collection of fellow strugglers, confronting personal challenges, navigating precarious relationships, and tackling trauma. Humans like each of us, juggling difficult human emotions, each here with unique life experiences, lived stories, and questions we'll bite into that just might help you too. And now, entering the Art Lab studio for the 9,880th time is the host of TherapyBites QiQ, Doc Heath.
Hey guys, Doc Heath here. Thank you guys for joining us. I think that we've gotten all our audio difficulties cleared away. And how do we do that? Well, we did it the same way we do it when we have trouble figuring out our iPhones. We find a second grader. In this case, that second grader's name is Sarah. No, she's not a second grader. She's actually a licensed clinician, and she's very talented at the engineering stuff. And by the way, as you notice behind me, we are on the air. Don't you love toys? I thought we'd get that for our remotes that we do for Executive Espresso, which we invite you guys to every Saturday at 9 a.m. But without further delay, let's go to the board and see what we have in store. This evening we have Couch Crumbs questions. That comes from, Couch Crumbs quotes. Shame on me. That's our newsletter. Creature feature, we have a whole zoo of creatures which we've engineered to help explain some psychological phenomenon. Social media smackdown. Yes, we do debates. It's all in, well, hopefully good fun. Some people take it too seriously, but we like to tackle things and just share ideas. Couch Crumbs, that is our newsletter. And then Nero, we have some psych secrets that we do. And let's see what the first question is going to be. My team tells me that we need to post this in the chat because you guys can see it so much better. And you know how it works. We give you the answer and you try to come up with the proper question. And here is the answer. I'll try to drag that on screen. Sometimes I do a better job than others. And let me go ahead and go to my timer here. And the answer is our mascot clinician who is responsible for his own section of our newsletter. And yes, he leads the charge against social media pseudo-psychological mumbo jumbo. You know, there's a lot of that out there. You shouldn't really make your primary source of psychological information social media. And there's nothing wrong. We have accounts out there, but check it out. Everything on social media is not what it appears to be. And once again, the answer here, and that is for 200 PCs, Psycoins, 200 Psycoins. What can you do with those? Well, you can get merchandise for free off of our store. He's our mascot clinician. Who is that? Does anybody have any ideas? What would be the proper question? He's one of my favorite characters, and I had a lot of fun coming up with him with my buddy Phil, who's a very talented artist from Great Britain. And oh my goodness, somebody got it. Oh, but you know, call me picky. It's like Jeopardy. It must be in the form of a question. Who is Dr. I'm a Freud not? Is this social media post correct? I'm a Freud not. Okay, let's go back to the board and pick our next category, which is going to be, and yeah, thanks, Ron. Ron corrected himself. Who is? Yeah, who is, not what is. He is a who. We need to get our pronouns and our sentences right, don't we? Let's go to Psych Secrets for 800 Psycoins, and I am doing my best to select, copy, gosh, it's almost like flying a rocket ship, and paste the next answer, and I'll put it up on the board once I get to the timer here, and I will drop that on you, and then we'll take a bit of a break. This is the term for the process by which new neurons are formed in the brain, debunking the old belief that we're born with a fixed number of neurons that declines with age. It's just not so. And with this process, it most notably occurs in the hippocampus. That's the home of short-term memory storage, in an area crucial for learning and memory. And we will be, oh, can I find my drop here? We'll be right back after this.
You are a fellow human struggling with difficult emotions, a fracturing relationship, parenting problem, mental health difficulty, have a psychotherapy from hell story to tell, or a challenging life experience question, and would like to share your story by stepping up to bat as a T-baller. Either register by texting QiQ to 1-870-686-4196 and join our Therapy Bites community, or send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, email address, and age to the address on the screen. Therapy Bites QiQ, P.O. Box 1391, Jonesboro, Arkansas 72403-1391.
And yes, we really do love getting viewer mail, and that is a real mailbox, and we do check it. And thank you guys for sending us in questions that you want answered. We're glad to do that here, and we also love your kudos. Some of you guys will stick us a postcard or letter, and we always love getting those. The term for the process, and it's right there in your chat, by which new neurons are formed in the brain, debunking the old belief that we're born with a fixed number. And we used to believe that, but we now know that the brain manufactures neurons until death. And we have two responses here. What is Genesis? Well, Genesis is a book of the Bible, actually. And it's also the name of one of my favorite British rock bands, led by Phil Collins. Ron's, what is neuropathy, Genesis, and the correct question is, what is neurogenesis? There's also synaptogenesis, which is the creation of new connections between neurons. And for you CBTers out there, your cognitive behavioral therapy people, how is that maximized? Well, by repetition. And Ron said neurogenesis, spell check. Yes, it auto-corrected for him. So yeah, Ron will get that. Ron got the answer, the correct question for that. What is neurogenesis, not neuropathy genesis? That'd be a bad thing, right? To generate neuropathy. Let's go back to the board and pick up our next category here, which is going to be fresh from the therapy couch, where we have folks that share common conditions, and we like to normalize things that real humans go through. And one of the things that real humans go through is struggle. And this is a very common struggle. It's a common part of the human condition. It's the belief that where we may think that we don't measure up, or that we don't have what it takes, or that we lack value. And I will get over here to my screen with the timer and pull it up on the screen here so you can see it. It's a common part of the human condition. Many people, speaking of social media, will watch social media and think, those people have no trouble, no problems. I had somebody on social media that said to me, I'm just so glad that you've lived a perfect life and you never had to struggle with anything. And poster, whoever, I think it might have been a troll on social media, on Twitter, by the way, a Twitter troll. But I could make you a huge, long list. But as Jeremy Renner said of what he went through, I refuse to have that define my life. And how do we decide what defines our life? Well, based on our thinking. And we have a respondent here. What is low self-esteem? That is so close, but then again, we're not playing horseshoes. What is low self-confidence? So very close. What is self-worth? The correct question is, what is self-worth? People struggle over and over and over again thinking that self-worth is a feeling, an emotion. There is no emotion or feeling that is evidence that you either possess or lack self-worth. And what can I say except for look up Pavlov's dogs and look at classical conditioning. If you engineer your brain to think that a thought such as self-worth is evidenced by an emotion, every time you have that or lack that emotion, you'll think that you lack self-worth. Is just poor programming, T-ballers. Let's go back to the board. We're moving on to social media smackdown, and the answer is, and this kind of stuff comes out a lot where people really get this mixed up on social media, either because, well, they aren't credentialed or trained or educated in social work, psychology, or one of the mental health professions, or they didn't pay attention in class, or they did pay attention in class, but they were taught by some woo-woo psychologist. And there's more and more of that going around. It really shocks me. I started my trek in psychology and social work. I have degrees in both in the early 80s. Things have changed a lot. The myth that blank are always shy and blank are always outgoing. And we will be right back after this.
If you plan on being in the local area of your podcast player app and would like complimentary tickets to the TherapyBites QiQ Art Lab studio audience, please search TherapyBites on your device and just smash that subscribe button. Your complimentary ticket grants you access to alerts so you'll never miss a show.
And yes, we are back, and we don't have, let's see, William had that from the previous item there. Thank you for playing there, William. That's not exactly right, but thank you. You guys do such a great job. I want to say how privileged I am personally to be able to show up and just spend some time with you guys. I really love doing this. Ronald says, what are men and women? I'll leave that joke alone. There's one of each in our household, and they struggle because they are different organisms. What is type A and type B personality traits? The actual question is, what what is a commonly misunderstood concept about personality types shared on social media when in fact introversion and extroversion is about energy source, not necessarily social aptitude? It is a myth that people that are introverted are always shy and people that are extroverted are always outgoing. We know, by a lot of good research, but I think a lot of what CBT does, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the psychological religion that me and my team subscribe to. And that is that our thoughts decide from situation to situation whether we're introverted or extroverted. Take the self-worth thing. If you walk into a room and you think that you have little to no self-worth, then you will tend to keep more to yourself and to be more introverted. But that may change if you're around a well-known group of friends or family members or a place where you do not believe that. Let's go back to the board, and this is going to be from the category called Creature Feature, and the answer is, let me pull it up here. I almost have it. I guess I could connect these to the buttons on my little control pad here, but who wants to do it the easy way when you can press the hard button? And the answer here is, and I'll put it up on the screen, the cognitive distortion where individuals dismiss positive experiences. And thank you guys for the thumbs up. YouTube likes that. Keep sending the thumbs up. YouTube, that tells YouTube that this is valuable information, and they'll share it out with more people. But the cognitive distortion where individuals dismiss positive experiences, preferred experiences, insisting that they don't count, and maintain a negative or distorted belief despite evidence to the contrary. And what might be the proper question to go with that answer? We have about 16 seconds left. And somebody mentioned, gosh, you've been asking you've been giving really hard answers here lately. Well, yeah, we are here to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. And kudos to the minister that shared that with me one time, decades and decades ago. It is very true. Ministers, massage therapists, and therapists are here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. For a good cause, to help them. To help them live their best life. What is a self-fulfilling prophecy? And the actual correct question is, what is a gray herring? A red herring in logic is making a point or a statement that gets in the way of understanding or it deters your focus from the real point or argument. And in our art lab, we call it a gray herring because cell bodies are gray, and we have gray herrings in the brain that get in the way of understanding what's really going on. And you can be so focused and underthink, you can be so focused on non-preferred events that they loom so big that you ignore all the wonderful things that happen. I'll have patients come in and say, nothing good happened today. And I'll point out, I noticed you had a seat and you didn't fall on the floor. Did you go to the toilet yet today? Yes, I did. Well, congratulations. I noticed that you didn't drown and flush yourself. So there's always many more things that go well than things that go wrong. We just don't attend to those. The next item here comes from Couch Crumbs Quotes. And we will put that up and be back after you have some time to think about it. If I can grab it right here. Whoops. You know, I'm highlighting this stuff in the background. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me. We only do this for about 18 to 20 minutes, and the length of the show depends upon the nimbleness of my fingers. And I'll pull this up on the screen. Oops, hit the button again because it didn't register. And this is the answer. We'll be back right after this with the question.
Premier accommodations for our T-Ball contributors provided electronically by the luxurious Art Lab Studio, overlooking the steaming cesspool of pseudo-psychological social media psychomalarkey and located in cyberspace on your favorite podcast hosting platform, where we invite you to the most psychomalogically thrilling podcast in town, while you feast on our award-winning psychologically nutritious buffet of TherapyBites cuisine, conscientiously cooked up by your hard-working T-Ball team chefs.
Okay, and we are back for our final question for the evening. And thank you guys again so much for joining us. And again, the answer is, he who thinks great thoughts often makes great errors. Did I say that? That's, you know, I have said that, but I just didn't come up with it. I could have also given the answer, and I think I'm right on this. You know, it's been a long time since I got my degree in philosophy. But the father of phenomenology, and we're not going to talk about what that is. That's a long conversation, but you can Google phenomenology and look that up. But, and if I'm wrong, well, you know, I gave you my P.O. Box address. You can send me nasty letters and give me a lesson in psychology. Thank you guys for joining us here. The question is, who is Martin Heidegger? He was an existential philosopher who emphasized that risk of failure is a necessary part of pursuing big ideas and big successes. Who is Socrates? Socrates, great philosopher. He was long dead before Martin Heidegger came on the scene. And thank you guys for joining us. Share this out to somebody that could use the help. We will be back right here Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for Executive Espresso, caffeinated conversations with me, Doc Keith, and a world-changing, world-class business person to talk about the intersection of psychology and business. Join us then. Click that follow or subscribe button so that you can get the notices. Thank you for being here. Have a great evening. We'll catch you guys next time on The Rewind.
Next time on TherapyBites Art Lab QiQ, Doc Keith and T-Ball callers face off against steaming piles of pseudo-psychological psychomalarkey directly from your favorite social media platforms, or perhaps from the psychotherapy couch of a pill-pushing, emotion-demonizing, bobble-headed, woo-woo clinician who fed their kooky Kool-Aid to you. This is Art Potto speaking. TherapyBites QiQ is a Dr. I'm a Freudnot production. Distributed by the TherapyBites Art Lab Podcast.